Bruno Mars is known to the world as a dazzling performer, but behind the fame is a story few people know. By the age of 10, he had already performed nearly 1,000 shows, earning the nickname Little Elvis in his family's Waikiki act. His childhood was filled with bright lights and early stardom, from stealing the spotlight at the Aloha Bowl at just 5 years old to appearing on the Arsenio Hall show and even acting in Honeymoon in Vegas. But as extraordinary as his talent was, the reality of his life would soon turn far darker. When Bruno was 12, his parents' divorce shattered both his family and his musical safety net. Overnight, the young star who once commanded stages was left homeless with his father and brother, often sleeping in cars, on rooftops, and even in an abandoned bird zoo. Without electricity or stable shelter, Bruno learned resilience, playing guitar under the moonlight and hustling for $75 a night as a Michael Jackson impersonator to pay for demo tapes. It was a childhood of survival that hardened him, shaping the grit that would fuel his future rise. By 18, Bruno set his sights on Los Angeles with just $600, a few demo CDs, and a dream. He crafted the name, Bruno Mars, to break free of industry stereotypes, rejecting early pressure to become the next Ricky Martin, singing in Spanish. The move was a leap of faith. He bounced between cheap motels, cramped apartments, and low-paying gigs just to keep his phone on. He even faked his way into a DJ job before being fired 2 nights later. But every struggle only deepened his determination to succeed. In 2004, Bruno signed his first deal with Motown, a thin 3-page contract that looked promising at first. Yet the label didn't know how to market him, pushing him toward Latin pop before ultimately dropping him without releasing a single song. It was a humiliating setback, especially after he had shared the news proudly with his family. But this failure led to a fateful friendship with Philip Lawrence, another artist dropped by Motown. Together, they vowed to create music so undeniable that no label could turn them away, a promise that would soon change Bruno's life forever. By 2006, Bruno Mars and Philip Lawrence were broke but relentless, writing songs in a beat-up Toyota Corolla outside Ari Levine's studio in Hollywood. They formed the Smeezingtons and studied over 1,000 songs before releasing any of their own. Bruno's sister, Tiara, gave one of his demos to Mike Lynn, an executive connected to Dr. Dre, who almost dismissed it until a soaring note caught his attention. Though no deal came, it was a spark of validation. To survive, they sold a song called Lost for $20,000, just enough to keep going. Their first breakthrough came when they co-wrote Flo Rida's Right Round, which shattered digital sales records. Soon after, they scored again with B.O.B.'s Nothin' on You, cementing their place as hitmakers. By the time Bruno released his debut single Just the Way You Are in 2010, songs he had worked on had already sold over 15 million downloads. Still, his debut EP It's Better If You Don't Understand went largely unnoticed, but it planted seeds for what was about to come. In October 2010, Bruno dropped Doo-Wops and Hooligans, and it was a game-changer. With a modest $70,000 budget, it went on to sell over 15 million copies worldwide and stayed on the UK charts for nearly 8 years. Singles like Just the Way You Are and Grenade became global phenomena, both topping charts and selling millions of downloads, with Grenade alone dominating charts in 15 countries. By 2011, Bruno had joined Lady Gaga as one of the only artists to have 2 singles sell over 5 million copies each in the US. The industry quickly recognized his meteoric rise. He earned 7 Grammy nominations in his debut year and won Best Male Pop Vocal for Just the Way You Are, the youngest winner since Stevie Wonder. Billboard crowned him the top Hot 100 artist of 2011, and by the time Locked Out of Heaven dropped in 2012, Bruno had already achieved what even Michael Jackson hadn't, 4 Billboard Hot 100 number ones in just 2 years. Its reggae rock vibe shifted the sound of pop radio, proving Bruno wasn't just following trends, he was redefining them. Bruno Mars defied expectations with Unorthodox Jukebox in 2012. While the label wanted a simple dance album, he pushed for variety, dabbling in disco, rock, and reggae, risking even his royalties to fund live instruments and vintage sounds. The gamble paid off. The album sold 6 million copies worldwide, won multiple Grammys, and proved his genre-blending style could dominate pop music. By 2014, he was unstoppable. Then came Uptown Funk, a collaboration with Mark Ronson that became a cultural phenomenon. It held the #1 spot for 14 weeks, broke sales and streaming records, and even seeped into everyday life, played on airlines, used for CPR training, and remembered as one of the biggest hits of the decade. In 2016, Mars doubled down with 24K Magic. The label was skeptical of its short 9-track runtime, but he stuck to his vision of creating a non-stop, 90s-inspired party record. The Grammys proved him right. In 2018, 24K Magic swept Album, Record, and Song of the Year, an achievement rarely seen in modern R&B. The success spilled into touring, with the 24K Magic World Tour selling 3.5 million tickets across 215 shows, grossing nearly $368 million. Every track on the album was crafted with meticulous detail, paying homage to past eras while feeling fresh enough to dominate the charts. By 2018, Bruno had established himself as one of music's most reliable hitmakers. Even outside of albums, he turned small collaborations into major hits, like Gucci Mane's Wake Up in the Sky, which became a multi-platinum success with over 1 billion streams. Critics praised his unique ability to revive older sounds, funk, R&B, disco, and make them relevant again in a pop landscape dominated by EDM and trap. His music wasn't just nostalgic. It was a masterclass in blending history with modern production. Then came Silk Sonic. In 2021, during a surprise Las Vegas performance, Bruno and Anderson .Paak announced their new project with the release of Leave the Door Open. The soulful ballad soared to #1 and stayed there for weeks, amassing billions of streams and winning over both fans and critics. What began as a side collaboration turned into one of the most celebrated acts of the early 2020s, cementing Bruno's reputation as not just a pop star, but a true architect of modern music history. Bruno Mars' journey with Silk Sonic alongside Anderson .Paak marked one of the most celebrated eras in his career. Their Grammy-winning single Leave the Door Open swept major awards, and their album An Evening with Silk Sonic became a retro soul masterpiece, recorded entirely on analog equipment. Fans connected deeply with the authenticity, so much so that it set vinyl sales records and powered a tour grossing nearly $145 million. At a time when music was dominated by digital production, Silk Sonic proved that old-school artistry could still conquer the world. In 2024, Bruno stunned fans again with Die With a Smile, his duet with Lady Gaga. The release shattered streaming records, spending 18 weeks at #1, while its black and white music video became an instant classic. Their live Grammy performance with the gospel choir turned into one of the most talked about moments of the decade, with Bruno's powerful 11-second note trending worldwide. Soon after, he crossed into K-pop with Rose from Blackpink on After Party Tango, which debuted as the biggest female K-pop duet in history and later surpassed 3 billion streams. These collaborations showcase Bruno's rare ability to bridge genres while keeping his unique musical identity intact. But behind the spotlight, his personal life faced turbulence. Bruno's longtime partner Jessica Caban, once the quiet foundation of his private world, sparked speculation of a breakup after cryptic social media posts in late 2024. By early 2025, fans noticed they were living separate lives, though neither confirmed a split. At the same time, viral rumors swirled about Bruno owing $50 million in gambling debts to MGM Resorts, forcing him into his Vegas residency. The story spread like wildfire online until MGM publicly shut it down, clarifying there was no debt and reaffirming their partnership. These moments revealed both the highs of Bruno's unstoppable artistry and the heavy scrutiny that comes with living as one of the world's biggest stars. At 39, Bruno Mars finally confirmed the rumors, not with a press release, but with humor that turned a scandal into free publicity. When the $50 million MGM debt story spread like wildfire, the casino giant quickly shut it down, assuring the world their star performer owed them nothing. But Bruno leaned into the joke, cracking lines on stage like, "Where my friends at when I'm up?" and later teasing on Instagram, "Keep streaming. I'll be out of debt in no time." Each time he mentioned it, clips went viral, racking up millions of views and fueling even more hype for his shows. And while many believe the claim because of Bruno's own past confessions about gambling and the sheer scale of Vegas high roller stakes, the truth is, he wasn't buried in debt, he was thriving. Instead of letting the rumor sink him, Bruno flipped it into one more legendary chapter of his career, proving once again why he remains one of the most unstoppable forces in music today.